Myths, religions, or sorceries. These are the common metaphysics in people's mind. And these people who don't believe in them at all are usually called materialists. They believe in science and treat science as their religion. But, in my opinion, something that is included in the sorcerer group, as in neither belong to myths nor religions, should be exceptional, or should be explained further. I Ching, a book, talks about how ancient Chinese see the world's phenomenon using yin and yang theories. I've read books about I Ching, even briefly learned about it. I don't think that my ancestor just made up this historical book for entertainment or just for filling up their bookshelf. So I did some research, and then I found this. Quantum physics is a popular field these years because the Nobel Prizes are given to these scientists who are learning about it. And I found so many similarities between quantum physics and I Ching. Hi everyone, my name is William Yan, and today I'm going to tell you how these two things could be similar and how we could use quantum physics to prove I Ching's existence. First, if we found an evidence, we need to find the source's initial point. The initial point of quantum physics is this equation. In 1900, Max Planck discovered and made the first theory of quantum physics as energy quantization, which is saying that energy does not give or absorb continuously, but in discrete form. Small tiny particles as energy tons. This is the equation calculates out how much energy specifically inside one single energy ton. Of course, as it became the fundamental theory of all of the quantum physics theories, it has an extension into wave-particle duality, which is saying that energy or particles does not only have one single form, but actually have two different versions, wave form and particle form. And it could be changed depending on the way of observation. Well, how does that relate to I Ching again? In I Ching, there's a basic rule called yin-yang shear roots, which is saying that yin and yang rely on each other and restrict each other. Also, a quote in I Ching mentions that lonely yin won't grow, single yang won't rise, has the same meaning. Also, in ancient Chinese mind, yin and yang are actually just energies and particles flowing everywhere in any organisms. So this just perfectly fits the theory of wave-particle duality. Then, something abstract to clarify and something hard to understood coming, as quantum entanglement, which is saying that two or more particles might have special connections between each other. It is hard to understand, isn't it? I'll give you an example. If you got slapped in the face in China, someone in USA could also feel the pain. How does that relate to I Ching again? Well, as you can see on this picture, this big circle of combination of yin and yang is called Tai Chi. And obviously, after one separation, it became yin and yang respectively. Then after another one, it became old and young yin and old and young yang. After the last separation, it became the 8 trigrams. But beware, before these 8 trigrams, they have to be classified into 5 different groups as the 5 elements. Remember, these 5 elements are not just in their literal form, but in representing all of the matters and all of the particles inside the whole universe. So this also means that particles and matters inside the whole universe have special connections between each other. So this just also perfectly fits the theory of quantum entanglement. Then, finally, something easier to understand. Mass conservation. It is saying that after one reaction, the reactants and the product should have the same mass. Although it is not strictly related to quantum physics, it is needed for approval of all of the theories in quantum physics. Well, how does that relate to I Ching again? In I Ching, as you can see on this picture, that yin and yang are always doing this circular motion. But the amount of them are never changing, and their motion are always kept inside the same circle, not changing now and never after. And as I mentioned at the top, yin and yang could also represent particles and matters. So this just also perfectly fits the theory of mass conservation. In the end, all of these are only my own perspectives, and I'm glad if someone could discuss with me. But all I want to say is, instead of keep denying something, try to prove it with your own imagination. Think dynamically is the key. Just like what Einstein says, imagination is more important than knowledge. Thank you, everyone.